enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. I'm lost again, but I gotta maintain. Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye?
Hello everybody and welcome to race number 24 of Season 2 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. After today we have only 2 regular season races left and 1 LCQ race before the chase for the championship begins. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Road America Road Course here in Wisconsin for the running of the Suzuki 400 at Road America. Now instead of running Chicago, I decided since I got this track today, I decided we're going to run here since I'm a big fan of Road America because this track is a really good road course. 4 miles around, so it's one of the biggest road courses we go to, though not the biggest. The biggest is Thornton, which is 12 miles around. But this should be a very exciting race here at Road America. Now, the point situation coming into this race as far as chase drivers are concerned, we got the points leader, Mason Bromer, who leads by 46 points over both Hunter Bell and Gabe Williams. If Mason Bromer can finish around the top 10 today, Mason Bromer will be the first driver locked into the chase for the championship. If he would have finished top 5 last week at Michigan, then he would have been locked in by then. But since he had a tough race, he has to wait another week if he wants a chance to lock himself in. Now, the top 10 coming into this race is Mason Bromer, Hunter Bell, Gabe Williams, Parker Wright, Austin Talley, Betty Johnson, Chase Oliver, Joshua Collard, Eric Burden, and David Rivera. And the 2 wildcard drivers, now it's different now because after Jessica Shelton got her win last week at Michigan, now it is Seth Cole and Jessica Shelton the wildcard drivers, while PJ Williams had been the number 1 wildcard seed for most of the season. After Seth Cole got his second win back at Watkins Glen, and then the week later Jessica Shelton got her second win, now the battle for the wildcard spots are about to get ramped up. But ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at your starting lineup for today's race at Road America. Well, that is a look at your starting lineup. Austin Weiner on the pole with Betty Johnson starting second. Austin Weiner trying to go for his second win of the season and his 6th career win. So he's trying to make history and get the most wins of any driver in NASCAR Walmart Cup Series competition to be running here in this series. But here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. As they have now taken the green flag as they go down this long super stretch here at Road America, and Austin Weiner is going to clear everybody. There are actually 2 drivers up here as we see back here, a battle for second between Betty Johnson and Chris Washer. Both Austin Weiner and Chris Washer are going to try to chase each other a win So that way one of the two is going to be able to have the all-time record of most wins in their career, as now we have a three-way tie for all-time wins between Austin Weiner, Chris Washer, and Jessica Sheldon of 5 apiece. And already we got a spin. I believe I saw Justin Talampas get spun out. I believe he manages to keep it together. He managed to keep his car straight. I don't see any cars with damage, I don't believe. Seth Cole's running back here. Actually, Seth Cole has damage. He's got a big buckle on his hood. We'll be taking a look at replays of any incidents after this race is over. But remember, when it comes to road course races, there are no cautions here in this race. So if you wreck, you wreck. And Austin Weiner got into a big lead as he's trying to go for his second win of the season and his 6th win of his career. He and Chris Washer both won 4 races last season. This season, both he and Weiner and Washer, have both won a race this year. I believe, if I can recall, Austin Weiner did win at Thornton this year. And now he's at a road course, so Austin Weiner knows how to get it done on road courses, and he leads lap 1 of 8 here at Road America. Let's go to the back and see if there was any other incidents. Kyle Matthews actually got damage from that accident with Justin Talampas. Let's keep an eye out on Seth Cole to see if his damage is bad enough for him to retire from the race. Let's see. No, it looks like Seth's going to continue. So too will Kyle Matthews, although with no hood. Seth Cole's going to continue, but with no hood. Meanwhile, I see Michael Norman has rear end damage. So nobody with severe damage to the point where they'd be retired from the race. So we might get lucky and run just like Watkins Glen, where no cars had to be forced over the wall. And in fact, at Watkins Glen, we had no incidents take place, but sadly here at Road America, we did have an incident involving Justin Talampas. We'll take a look at, like I said, we'll take a look at the replay of that accident at the end of the race just to see what happened. As Austin Weiner, the margin at the line, he has a near 2-second lead over Betty Johnson at the moment. We're going to keep an eye out. We're going to check the margin once they come to the start-finish line. Now, these cars may end up having to pit more than once this race, although it depends on when these cars are going to come down pit road. Because we've seen it several times, pit strategy in terms of when they have to come down pit road has always been the big key factor of winning these races. As Austin Weiner led that lap, let's see the margin this time. Betty Johnson's actually gaining a little bit on Austin Weiner, though not very much. As Austin Weiner's lap that time was almost 2 minutes exactly. We're going to take a look at see who had the fastest lap that last lap. Alex Pedro had the fastest lap of 1 minute 59 seconds, .714 seconds that Alex Pedro had. Austin Weiner was the 5th fastest for himself as the leader. Let's check around the back to see if there's been any more accidents, and so far everybody's still running normal. So I don't believe we've had any other incidents take place. But we're going to take a look and see how the top 20 runs at the moment, since we're still racing really good. We're going to take a look at how the top 20 is right now. Austin Weiner's your leader. 2nd is Betty Johnson. 3rd is Chris Washer. 4th is Dylan Young. 5th is Alex Pedro. 6th is Brody Talley. 7th is Cody Lamas. 8th is Austin Talley. 9th is Parker Wright. 10th is Henrietta Fitzwater. 11th is Sonny Hammond. 12th is Annie Thomas. 13th is David Rivera. 14th is Joshua Collard. 15th is Ryan Anderson Jr. 16th is Preston Blord. 17th Rue McIntyre. 18th Trent Dunham. 19th Hunter Bell. 20th is Jessica Sheldon. Let's go through the rest of the field. 21st is Mason Bromer. 22nd is Tommy Mooney. 23rd is Chase Oliver. 24th is Sam Young. 25th is Jecko Knight. 26th is Barney Taylor. 27th is Matt McIntyre. 28th Justin Talampas. 29th is Charles Jackson. 30th is Gabe Williams. 31st is Theo Stegall. And cars are actually coming down pit road now. So the fuel window and the leaders are in pit road right now as Austin Weiner's in the pits. Getting ready to make his pit stop. And it looks like Austin Weiner's probably going to go with fuel only. He is not taking tires, it don't look like. Interesting strategy for Austin Weiner, but he is no longer the leader. The leader at the moment would be Jessica Sheldon, then Justin Talampas, then Austin Weiner. That will be the way that top three will be running at the moment. Once Sheldon and Talampas comes down pit road, Weiner will get the lead back. Once the 78 and the 4 come down pit road. Now that tells me that these cars are probably going to have to pit one more time, probably around lap 6 or 7, in order to make it the rest of the way on fuel. There's Seth Cole along with Kyle Matthews on pit road. Let's check the 4 of Sheldon as she is getting ready to head into... Well, I can't really tell which area of the track this is. But once we see an apron line, that is when we'll know if these two drivers up at the front, Sheldon and Talampas, are going to come down pit road. Jessica Sheldon won last week at Michigan and also won earlier in the season back at Infineon, which was a road course. So Jessica Sheldon definitely knows how to get it done on road courses. And here she is coming into pit road. Now here comes Talampas. So now that should cycle the lead back over to the 12 of Austin Weiner now, as he is going to stay out here. But Betty Johnson's kind of starting to close in a little bit on the 12, as Austin Weiner will get the lead back, although not this lap. He still scored in the 3rd spot. But the margin that time that Weiner had, less than a second. So Betty Johnson is trying to catch that 12 car, though the 12 car out in that clean air, he's just been staying up there. But Betty Johnson is trying hard to get back up to that 12 car. The race is going to come down to one of these two cars as we are past the halfway point, and Betty Johnson is really trying to close in the gap on that 12 car. Betty Johnson trying to go for her first career win in NASCAR Walmart Cup Series competition and for the season. And she's been in the top 5 pretty much all season long. And she is trying hard to close the gap on the 12 car of Austin Weiner. But we know these cars are going to have to pit one more time around lap 6 or 7 in order to make it the rest of the way on fuel. As Austin Weiner, who has dominated the race, led the first 3 laps and now has the lead back, and he would lead lap 5 once they come to the stripe, depending on if Betty Johnson has something, and she is there to that bumper of the 12 car. So clearly it's like Betty Johnson clearly has the faster car, but she's just having a hard time trying to get closer and closer to the 12. in order to capitalize and get the lead. And now they're coming down pit road one more time. This could be the money stop for the 12 and the 99. As they are both in pit road. Chris Washer's staying out this lap. So now Chris Washer has the lead as he's going to stay out an extra lap. This could be big depending on if these cars have to come and pit one more time on the last lap. If Washer doesn't pit, or since Washer didn't come down pit road that time, then he's going to have one more lap to the go on the 12 and the 99. That could be big. But then again, I think that would be their last stop. But then again, it is 3 laps of fuel that they have as everybody else has entered pit road. And I don't see any more damaged cars. As we see many cars still haven't pitted yet, as Washer still is out on track. We're actually going to take a look around the back as nobody's retired from the race. So far we've only had that one incident with Justin Talampas, which we will take a look at the end of the race. So that way we can get a good perspective as to what happened. But Chris Washer trying to stretch his fuel out and hopefully can stay out at the front once he completes his final pit stop. As when he comes to the stripe, it will be 2 laps to go here at Road America, and he's now heading down the way. Let's see if he's pitting this time. He's got to be on that apron line, and he is coming to pit road. Let's see if Alex Pedro's coming down. Yes, he is. What about Dylan Young? Yep. Now the next highest is Gabe Williams, and he's coming. There's Sheldon and Chase Oliver. Jessica Sheldon's actually staying out this lap. What about Justin Talampas, who's the next highest car? He's staying out. What about Jecko Knight? He's coming in. PJ Williams, Ken Thierer are coming in. Austin Weiner's staying out. So Jessica Sheldon going to try to stretch it the rest of the way, but I don't think she's going to be able to. In fact, she might run out of fuel before she even gets in the pit road. Same for Talampas. Third would still be Austin Weiner. But once Talampas and Sheldon come in the pit road, then Austin Weiner will get the lead again. Now we need to keep an eye out on him because who knows if he has to pit one more time. I don't believe he has to. Oh, Ryan Anderson Jr. has some side damage, but other than that, he's alright. Although Ryan Anderson Jr. is running slow on the track, so that tells me there was another incident that took place. And it involved the 51, so that will make 2 incidents we have to take a look at. As I'm trying to find where Chris Washer is, there he is, right there. He would be third once the 4 and the 78 come to pit road, as it's less than 2 to go. When they come to the stripe, it will be the white flag. Sheldon going through the Suzuki walls area of the track to come through this turn. And now she's getting ready to head into the super stretch, but let's see if she's going to stay out again or come down pit road. She's going to stay out again. She's trying to stretch it. But what about Talampas? Talampas, he's coming down pit road, but Sheldon is trying to stretch the fuel the rest of the way, but I don't know if she's going to have enough. I don't think she will. In fact, I think she might run out, but she is on the white flag lap. Jessica Sheldon trying to go for her 6th win of her career and her 3rd of the season. but does she have enough fuel to make it is the question. As Austin Weiner is trying to see if he can stretch it more in order to get to the 4, but we gotta keep an eye out on the 4 because I don't think she's gonna make it on fuel the rest of the way. In fact, I think she is gonna run out. But if she saved up enough, then what a great pit strategy by that 4 car. Sheldon so far still running up to speed. Don't see any lowered miles per hour gauges going down, at least for the time being. As there you see Austin Weiner has been the dominant car of the race. But Sheldon with that pit strategy decided to stay out another lap, but does she have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way is the question. Heading through the Suzuki section of the racetrack. Getting ready to head off at the last corner to head down to Super Stretch, but is she coming down pit road this time? Let's see what she's gonna do. She's staying out, so Jessica Sheldon, excellent pit strategy. She is going to win the Road America 300 or 400 at Road America. What a strategy by the 4 cars. Preston Plord's on pit road, so is Theo Stegall. So we had another incident take place. That's going to be 3 incidents we're going to have to take a look at here in just a moment. But what a job by Jessica Sheldon. Pit strategy, stayed out extra laps, and decide only make 1 pit stop. But what a job by the 4 of Jessica Sheldon. Gets her 2nd straight win of the season and her 3rd win this season. So if she doesn't get into the top 10, she might have a wild card spot locked up. But I do believe that if she can get in the top 10 and stay there, she could get the points lead for the chase due to having the most wins. What a job by Jessica Sheldon. But now we are going to take a look at 3 replays of 3 different incidents. One involving Justin Talampas, one with Ryan Anderson Jr., and then one involving Preston Plord and Theo Stegall. Well, here's a look at what happened to the 78 of Talampas. Everybody started stacking up, trying to slow down, and Talampas was the car that got spun around. Matt McIntyre got a piece of it, as to did Jekko Knight as well, but Seth Cole was in there. And everybody just started piling in, but not enough to be retired, as Zachary Fitzwater actually got some damage out of that. Seth Cole and Kyle Matthews, I think, were the cars that got the worst end of the deal as a result of all that. But none of those cars ended up retiring out of the race. So anyways, now let's take a look at the second incident that involved the 51 of Ryan Anderson Jr. Well, this is an incident on pit road that happened as Ryan Anderson Jr. was coming out of his pit stall. The front pit stall up in front of Ryan Anderson is Matt McIntyre. Matt's trying to get in his stall, but Anderson Jr. was trying to get out of his stall, and he tumbled over as a result of getting hit in the driver's door trying to come out of pit road as Matt McIntyre was trying to get in his stall. As there you see, the 51 comes up, the 98 comes down, and it forces the 51 to go upside down and over on his wheels, but he did not end up retiring, I don't think. But that was a look at that accident. Now let's take a look at the replay to see what happened to Preston Plord and Theo Stegall. Well, here's a look at what happens with the 83 of Theo Stegall and the 42 of Preston Plord. Preston Plord gets a big run, and he's trying to dive to the inside, but Theo Stegall comes down in front of Preston Plord, and then look at this. Hard into the tire wall. Theo Stegall hit hard up against the edge of that tire wall. Let's see if we can get a good angle. There you see when the turn happens, and then watch the 83. dang, completely tore his car to shreds. And then Preston Ford, he just scraped the tire wall, but it was enough to cause his car to blow out. The tire walls are like car shredders. Once you hit them, then you're done for. But let's actually go to the in-car camera, the cockpit camera of the 83 of Theo Stegall, and watch this hit. Wow. Hard into the tire wall. Car went up in the air, and that's what happened to the 83 and the 42. And then right there, you saw an incident right there with Danny Wells and Alex Hawkins. Let's see if we can see how that starts. I didn't know this took place. This was after the 83 accident happened. Danny Wells just overdrove that corner. He gets into the 47 of Alex Hawkins. I don't think Alex Hawkins is going to be very happy with the 31 after that, because he just dived into that corner and pretty much took out the 47. But nonetheless, that was a look at what happened with all the accidents. Let's now take you to the official results. Well, now we shall look at the official finishing results of today's race at Road America. Jessica Sheldon with an excellent pit strategy of staying out an extra lap more than everybody else did while in the first pit stops. She is going to win the Road America 400 out of Road America today. Great job for Jessica Sheldon. Austin Weiner, who was one of the dominant cars of the race, maybe the dominant car, finishes second after pit strategy didn't go his way. Betty Johnson's going to get another solid top 5 finish. So, congratulations to Betty Johnson for getting a 3rd place finish. Chris Washer comes away with a 4th place finish, and rounding out the top 5 was Brody Talley. Great run for those guys. Alex Pedro gets a solid 6th place finish. Cody Lama is getting a top 10 finish. This could bump him into the top 10 in points, as he came into this race 11th in the point standing, so I think this will put him in the top 10. As long as he stays in that top 10, he will be in the chase. Dylan Young gets a solid 8th place finish. Sonny Hammond starting to get the ball rolling for him. He's going to come away with 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is Parker Wright. The rest of the top 20 was Henrietta Fitzwater, Austin Talley, Trent Dunham, Joshua Collar, Chase Oliver, Sam Young, Rue McIntyre, Annie Thomas, Tommy Mooney, and Gabe Williams. Then the rest of the top 30 was Barney Taylor, David Rivera, Justin Talampas, Hunter Bell, Zachary Fitzwater, Danny Wells, Michael Norman, Dylan Thero, Charles Jackson, Ken Thero. I hit the wrong button. The rest of the top cars that were left in the top 40, Mason Bromer, again another poor finish. So again, the 11 will not lock up a chase spot. But if he can get a good finish at the next race, which will be held, I believe, at Pocono, then he can lock himself in the chase then. Checo Knight, then Eric Burton, PJ Williams, Ian Dutta, Matt McIntyre, Alex Hawkins, Kyle Matthews, and Seth Cole. Those are the cars who finished, and then the next 3 ended up being retired from the race or a lap down, and they were Theo Stegall, Preston Blord, and Ryan Anderson Jr. So, Jessica Sheldon gets her 3rd win of the season, her 6th career win, so now she has the most all-time wins in NASCAR Walmart Cup Series competition. But we still have plenty more drivers who want to get that accolade as well, like Chris Washer and Austin Weiner. Now we have 2 races left until the chase, as well as the LCQ at Talladega. Anything's going to be able to happen here in these next few races, but now here's your results, rookie points, and overall point standings heading into the next race at Pocono. But until then, so long, everybody.